I first met Kamala Harris in August of 2009 at a reception put together by Jeff Zucker, who was then the enigmatic president of NBC, at the reception room of 30 Rockefeller Plaza. Jeff Zucker had put together a group of the who's who of New York society and political establishment to introduce Kamala Harris to the East Coast establishment when she was running for election as the Attorney General of California. She had been a trailblazing U.S. Attorney of San Francisco, and then she made a tour de force presentation to the people present, and spoke about what she has done as U.S. District Attorney of San Francisco and why she would make for a good Attorney General of California. It was a hard-driving but great presentation she made, which really impressed a lot of the people who really didn't know who Kamala Harris was then. And Jeff Zucker saw her and had spotted her, and this was a guy who had made some of the best sitcoms for NBC and some of the greatest news programs for NBC, and also even made Saturday Night Live into what it was. And he had spotted her as a rising star and had put together all these people to introduce Kamala Harris. And then after her presentation and after her speech, I had an exclusive interview with her. It was supposed to go on for about 15-20 minutes, but it went on for about an hour, and I found her to be very personable, very very friendly, and that's where she had this mischievous and great sense of humor. And I was very impressed because she was not known to the Indian American community, who also had, and her mother had sort of, the African American community had embraced her, but she was not known to the Indian American community. But what impressed me was when I started asking questions about India and her heritage and her culture in terms of an Indian part of her heritage, I was amazed that someone who had still not been embraced by the Indian American community, growing up in African American environment, was so erudite and also knew absolutely all about Indian culture, Indian heritage, etc., which I think to a great deal was her mother taking her to India a couple of times a year and introducing her to Indian culture, Indian heritage, and also the walk she had taken on the beach with her grandfather, who had spoken about his involvement in the independence movement, etc. And I was the first ever South Asian American journalist to interview her at that time. And of course, today we know where she is. Many more segments to follow in terms of the interview and political and diplomacy that I covered at the time, and the evolution of Kamala Harris as the great African American personality, and also South Asian American personality, where she embraced both those heritages.